the pain like.
Hey guys, dearyoongi here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's video because it kicks off the start of what is going to be a mini-series on my channel about all the ways in which K-pop companies are trying to take our money. This was originally going to be one very long video, but because I had so much to talk about that I could go into further detail with in different topics, I have decided instead to make this a series of shorter videos going more in depth about each area rather than one great big essay. So today's video we'll be looking in particular at paid illusion interaction platforms, aka messaging apps such as Bubble. I have been trying not to include disclaimers at the beginning of my videos like I used to, because I know they do add unnecessary length to the video, and I eventually realized if people have something negative to say, they're gonna do it anyway. But I do want to preface this type of video with something before we start, something that I think people are gonna say, so please feel free to skip ahead in the chapters if you want to just get started. Okay, disclaimer time. I know and completely understand that K-pop at its very core is business. I'm in no way trying to tell fans how to enjoy things or not to consume any of these things that we talk about, because there is nothing wrong with choosing to support your faves in this way. At the end of the day, it is your money that you're spending, so you can be completely aware of these things and want to do it anyway. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So without further ado, let's finally get started. Introducing Bubble. For those who aren't aware, there is such a thing in the K-pop world as paid platforms, which allow you to create the illusion as though you are chatting with your favorite K-pop idols, even though you're not. I'm sure there are other examples of similar platforms, but I'm not as familiar with those. Therefore, the one we are going to look at in particular in today's video is Bubble. Bubble is a paid service by Listen, which is SM Entertainment's Dear You fan community service, where fans can pay to communicate with their favorite artists. The idol will send regular messages on the app, updates, photos and videos, etc., which the app can translate from Korean to English in real time for you as the reader. Fans are even able to message back and forth with the idol of their choice when they receive a new message. But the thing is, the response they receive from the idol will not necessarily be directed just to them, even though it feels as such. The platform does not directly support individual replies from idols currently. So for example, if your fave idol messages saying, "Did you eat today?" to all their subscribers, and you reply with, "Yes, I had a salad," and they reply saying, "That's great, super healthy," it may sound as though they're directly replying to your message, but you will never know for certain. The Bubble application has proven very successful, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, when idol-to-fan in-person interactions were very limited, as the app provided an alternative way in which fans could still communicate with their artists, not just in Korea, but also globally. In the second quarter of 2020 alone, when we were still in the height of the pandemic, Dear You posted 4.2 billion won sales when it launched the Bubble service in February of the same year, which was around over $3 million US. 1 year after launch of the service, it had already surpassed 1.2 million subscriptions, with the monthly subscription fees adding to an amount of 5.4 billion won, almost $4 million. Although I don't believe SM have come out and personally confirmed the sole purpose of Bubble was to help connect with wider global audiences, this has been one of the main successes of the platform. Park Eun-hye of the New Zen compared Listen with existing fan cafes as a platform that has the effect of increasing accessibility for foreign fans. Following the success of SM's Bubble, as time has gone on, more and more artists have joined Bubble or other similar style platforms from various other labels. For example, there is a JYP version of the app called Bubble for JYP Entertainment, and so on and so forth. What would the appeal be of an application like this to us as fans, when you know at the end of the day there's a high likelihood that the idol won't be seeing or responding to your messages in particular? Well, it's a pretty simple idea, and I can't really blame anybody for feeling this way, but it's nice to feel included sometimes. As a fan of a genre like K-pop, especially not living in Korea, it can be very easy sometimes to feel detached from your favorite artists when you don't speak the language or perhaps are unable to attend events such as concerts or fan signs. Applications such as Bubble give you that extra level of intimacy where you can almost create the illusion of friendship with your favorite idol. It's very easy to ignore the fact that on their end, it feels like they're messaging a big group chat, and you can just instead pretend you are speaking with them only, which I'm sure a lot of people may do. But unfortunately, with a service like this, it's never going to be all rosy, so we do need to discuss some of the implications. First up, probably expected it. First issue we need to look at is the cost of subscribing to something like this. I believe the current subscription prices for Bubble are along the following lines. So the app itself is free to download, but you need to purchase a ticket per person you want to speak with. And these are split via each group on SM's version of the app. So if you wanted to speak with one of the members of TVXQ, then you'd purchase one ticket and then pick who exactly later on. But if you wanted to chat with all of the members of NCT available on the platform, and this is not including Wavy by the way, you would have to buy 14 tickets. And then of course if you wanted to speak to a Wavy as well, add those on. One ticket is around $3.99, two is $6.99, three tickets is $9.99, so on and so forth. They apply a little bit of a discount as the totals add up for larger groups, so it works out a few cents cheaper. That provides you with 1 month's access to one of the idols' Bubble. To put the cost of consuming a platform such as Bubble into perspective, I thought it would be interesting to download the app myself and see how much it would cost me to subscribe to each of my favourite idols under SM for a month who were under the platform, so that's exactly what I did. So, first up, aespa. I did have a little bit of an internal crisis thinking I'd have to pick here and now which members I wanted, but I didn't, thank God. So say for instance, I wanted to subscribe to one member of aespa's Bubble. For 1 month, I would buy one ticket at $3.99. Next up, my bias in TVXQ is Max, so that's another one ticket of $3.99. Moving down the list to Shiny, I had a struggle here. If I'm being honest, I think I'd want to subscribe to at least 2 members at a time, and then perhaps I could alternate with the others each month, so that would be another $6.99 on this month's total. Next up, EXO. I have one bias, Schumann, so that's one ticket at $3.99. Why is this kind of fun? I feel like I'm at the fun fair. Sorry. Next up, Girls' Generation, and I'm in a similar situation than I was with Shiny, but I think I'll just get one ticket, save some money. So add on another $3.99. Moving on to Red Velvet, we'll get one ticket for now, I can pick later, because again, I'm so indecisive with some of my SM group biases, so add on another $3.99. And last but not least, NCT and Wavy, which are both listed separately. I have 2 biases here, one in NCT Mark and one in Wavy 10. I'd have saved a few cents if they were all listed under one entity of the NCT umbrella, because I'd have got 2 tickets at $6.99 rather than what I would have to do here now, which is get 2 separate tickets of $3.99, but here we are. Okay, so if you added up all those artists, my total would come to $34.92 per month. I'm from the UK, so with the current exchange rate, that would work out around £29 a month for me to be able to access all those artists. Now I know this of course was just an exercise and I didn't really purchase all these tickets. This is probably a way more exaggerated version of the way people actually use this app. It's unlikely that somebody would be able to subscribe to every artist they like under a label, but if you stan multiple artists under different labels who have started their own version of Bubble, do you see how easy it would be to get to that level of expenditure if you have a few favourite artists under each label? I don't want this series of videos to be me just talking about cost implications of these various factors of the K-pop industry. If there are other consequences, I will try my best to discuss them where applicable. So another problem I wanted to discuss with apps like these is the commitment. And I don't mean from us who have to pay monthly, but what is expected from artists involved. Put it simply, paid platforms such as these will create extra work for idols who feel obliged to message on these applications as part of their job, and not always just because they want to. I know we all want to believe our idols are all loving all the time and want to make all the time in the world for us, but I'm sure there will be days where they've spent hours on end at music show or exhausting themselves in the practice room when they want nothing more than to just crawl into bed at the end of the day, but instead they have to find time to complete this extra responsibility. If idols are a bit more sporadic on paid platforms, it could lead to fans being upset or unhappy that they aren't quite getting their value for money. And of course, when K-pop fans are unhappy, it does not take the news platforms long to pick up on these sorts of things and turn them into bigger issues about the idol, their behaviour, etc. In the past, NCT's Jaehyun and Red Velvet's Joy have both come under fire for sharing a lack of content with their Bubble subscribers, and it was leading people to question who they are as idols and the respect and love they have for their fans. And this is a tough place to be, because I do agree with the fans in the sense that if I was paying for something every month, I would also like more than one selfie here or there. But these idols are already incredibly busy with grueling schedules. They didn't have the choice to join these platforms, their company made them do it. And now, add in this extra responsibility of engaging with fans individually on apps, it's another demand on an already hectic workload. And another important problem I wanted to address with these paid interaction illusion platforms is that they are a very major way in which K-pop companies are actually encouraging parasocial relationships. I don't think I've ever done a full video on my channel about parasocial relationships in K-pop, but many other great YouTubers have. For those who may not be familiar and would like to check them out, I have mentioned some of the dangers of these in the past, and what companies really should be doing is trying to find ways in which idol to fan relationships can be built in a more healthy way, should a thing even exist. We all know that the K-pop fandom as a whole already has major issues with parasocial relationships, where fans can get too invested in a very unhealthy one-sided relationship with an artist. And with the addition of these messaging platforms, as fans invest more money and time into these interactions, they might develop unrealistic expectations of what they are supposed to be getting out of them, and with that, intense emotional attachments. This can lead to very unhealthy obsessions or reactions, especially when idols can't always meet the constant demand to post when busy with schedules, etc. And in the end, with imbalanced relationships like these, everybody gets hurt. These styles of relationships are already very often encouraged in other ways in K-pop. By the way, some artists are told to market themselves as like your best friend or your romantic partner. For instance, when your favorite male idol tells you not to cheat on him with other men, that sort of thing only helps to further push these parasocial relationships. A large chunk of the time when idols behave like this, it is important to remember that they have no choice but to do so if instructed by their labels, so I can't be too mad at them for the things they say, especially when doing fan service. But the last thing we need is the entities who are supposed to be protecting idols the most enforcing extra ways that parasocial relationships can be built just for an easy quick check every month. Okay, so let's wrap up today's video with a conclusion. At the end of the day, I think the idea of messaging platforms with your favorite artist itself is cute. It's a very modern take on stan culture, you know? And I like that it gives an opportunity not just for fans to feel closer connections with their faves, but it can also serve as an opportunity for K-pop idols who may feel distant with fans to feel as though they're building more of an intimate connection and sharing their love with them. But like many things, it's clear that these platforms are a double-edged sword. Companies know exactly what they're doing by setting up these paid platforms because they know for a fact that fans will pay for them, which I completely understand. But for me, I just think it's really important to remember that if you're choosing to engage in fan content of this type, then it can come at a cost, both financially and emotionally. The key takeaway here is awareness, and I know I use that word quite a lot, I'm sorry, but everybody of course already knows the fun side of things like this, so I feel like it's key in videos like mine that we discuss the negative sides as well, just for those who aren't aware, because I feel like we need to raise some awareness to the sorts of things I just want people to bear in mind. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance that works for you and brings joy into your life as a K-pop fan. If spending money on these platforms makes you happy and you can safely confirm that you're conscious of the potential pitfalls, please go ahead and enjoy yourself. A lot of us are just here to have fun in the K-pop world. At the end of the day, K-pop companies don't really care how you feel, so if you go into one of these messaging platforms and you don't feel you're getting your value for money, you've already paid them. So I think it's just important that we as K-pop stans protect ourselves where we can. If you choose to consume these profiles and platforms, then great, as long as you know the potential risks yourself and you are protecting your own happiness. Okay, and that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever used Bubble or any of these similar kinds of apps? What is your thoughts on them? And what do you guys think will be coming up in my future videos of this style, talking about the ways in which K-pop companies try to get money out of fans? If you're new here and haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell. That should let you be the first here whenever I upload. And I will see you next time. Bye guys!